Hello, welcome to American Baker in Germany. I'm Michelle, and today we are going to show you two alternatives to the regular vanilla cake. First, I'm going to add some chocolate chips to make it chocolate chip cake, and I'm going to add some sprinkles to make it into funfetti cake. And I will show you how to do that. Let's get started. Alright, I have one recipe of my vanilla cake that's up on the channel under recipes. If you need the white cake recipe, this is one recipe of my white cake, also called vanilla cake, cut into two pieces. This is not quite even, but it's close enough. And what we're going to do is we're going to mix some chocolate chips into one of them and some sprinkles into the other, so I can show you how to make chocolate chip cake and funfetti cake. Alright, I'm going to start out with the chocolate chip cake, and what I have here is about 1 cup of chocolate chips. I was really lucky to find some chocolate chips. I found these online and I bought them in bulk because that's the only way you can buy them in Germany. I bought them in a 5-pound bag, 2.5 kilo bag of chocolate chips because I bake often enough. But if you don't find chocolate chips and you can't find it, or you run out, whatever, you can also use 1 good solid bar of semi-sweet chocolate. Now this is enough for also called dark chocolate. This is enough for half of a recipe. If you want to do an entire recipe of my vanilla cake and make it into chocolate chip cake, then you use 2 cups of chocolate chips or 2 full bars of dark chocolate. That would be 200 grams then of dark chocolate. So let's toss them in. So what I do is I toss them in like that, and I fold them. So there you go. You see them tossed into the bowl, and now I'm going to fold them in for you. See if I can do this while holding the camera. I'm a mother, I'm good at multitasking. This is really the easiest thing in the world to make, and it bakes up so incredibly delicious. It's one of my new favorite recipes. There we go. That's all there is to it. Now, let's look at the funfetti. Funfetti is trickier, okay? Funfetti is not at all easy, and the reason why is because of the sprinkles. You would think that you could use any kind of sprinkles. That is absolutely not true. The kind of sprinkles you use is absolutely essential. So what I have discovered works for me are, I don't know if you can see this, Wilton nonpareils. That's what these are called. I've ordered them online as well in a large package because I do make a lot of funfetti cake. But the thing about these is that if you look at them, I mean, they've got lots of colors and they're little tiny. And if you go to the dollar store, you will find a package kind of like this. Believe me, that's where I got this. And look, there's ones that look very, very much like them. You can hold them next to each other. There's not a huge difference. So it could be tempted to use these to make your funfetti cake. I actually have done this once. The only ones that left any color behind were the blue. There was no other color in there at all. So if you want a little blue sprinkly cake, feel free to do that. But since that's not usually what you're going for, you usually want a little more color than that, then I would suggest buying the good sprinkles, in this case from Wilton. There are a couple other kinds that work as well, but this is the one that I'm using today. You do have to be careful as you put them in, and also how much do you put in? So that is also a question when I make it so you can really see what I'm doing today, because this is a little bit tricky. That's why I chose the glass bowl. So for an entire recipe of my vanilla cake, I will use 1/4 of a cup. This is a 1/4 cup measuring cup. It doesn't look like it, but it is 1/4 cup. But today, since I'm only doing half a recipe, I'm only using about half of a 1/4, which is 1/8 of a cup. It's only a couple tablespoons. You really don't need very much because these pack a pretty big punch. The thing you have to be careful about with them is that while you're folding them in, as soon as you start to see streaks in your batter, stop folding. I don't even care if they're all the way through or not. Stop folding, because otherwise you're going to end up with a big soupy mess that all looks the same color. And that's not the point of funfetti. So when you put them in, you sprinkle them across the top. so that they're already a little bit spread around before you even start folding. So that's all of them. I'm going to set that aside. And now I'm going to very carefully, very gently fold them in. I'm just moving that over, and I think I'm going to stop there. Stop. You see the streaks right here? There's a couple of streaks already shown up. It is not completely mixed together. That's okay. It's more important that you don't completely lose the color before you put them in the oven than it is that they're completely perfectly evenly spread around. So stop here and put them in your baking form. They'll bake just as long as the other, because the actual cake underlying it is white cake. As long as you follow the recipe for that cake, then that's how long you need to bake it. And you don't have to worry about the sprinkles doing anything to it. That does not change the taste. I have to warn you about that. A lot of people think that it tastes different. It doesn't. It tastes the same. It tastes like white cake with sprinkles in it. So you can't really taste the sprinkles. So don't expect it to taste differently. It does look pretty though, and that's the point. The chocolate chip cake, however, is really delicious, and you can definitely taste the chocolate pieces in it. I also would recommend sticking with dark chocolate on that because the milk chocolate is just too sweet. The cake is already quite sweet and doesn't really need any extra. So those are a couple of variations on my vanilla cake recipe, and I hope you enjoy making them yourself.